All right. Tennessee 35, UConn 3. Already a blowout at halftime. This one is all but over for the Tennessee Volunteers, and that's exciting because that means maybe so many fans will get to see what they finally have been wanting. Maybe a little bit of Nico in the second half. But I'm Charlie Burris. That is former Vols quarterback Jonathan Crompton. We're going to discuss everything that we just watched in that first half right after I tell you about our amazing sponsors for this halftime show, BetterHelp. Go to betterhelp.com/ATOZ Sports and save 10% on your first month with BetterHelp. Zyn Sports, the fastest growing sportsbook in Tennessee. Use code A2ZTN to get 5% cash back on your total betting volume for your first 15 days of betting. And Rattle and Snap, Tennessee whiskey from Log Still Distillery. Make your own luck, just like Tennessee's fast-paced Rattle and Snap offense with Rattle and Snap Tennessee whiskey. Crump, 35-3. What's some of your initial thoughts?
We honestly we're playing like we're supposed to against a 1-17.
Thank goodness.
You know what I mean? Good. We got a defensive touchdown. That's awesome.
I love that.
You know what I'm saying? Great job stripping the ball, scoop and score. I mean, we played. I'm not gonna say flawless, but I mean pretty darn close. You know what I mean? Like it's hard to ever say that you played flawless, but this is as close as we've been all year to playing what we really want. What was the spread for a game? 35.5. We're already at 32. So, no complaining here at all. Not really. I mean, Joe's 11 of 14, 253, 2 touchdowns. Squirrel, the one to Keaton, just completely wide open. So that was great to see. I think that was a busted coverage, but great job recognizing it on our part.
Hey.
And the one to Squirrel just catching out, run everybody. Awesome to see. Can't complain with the start. What was it, second play of the game, 85-yard touchdown? Something like that? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
That's awesome to see that. So, we've done what we needed to do at this point. Now we need to go ahead and come out. Let's assert our dominance, get another score, get a stop, get a score, get a stop, get everybody out.
I mean, I think the only thing that you could maybe hit on at all is that they started out a little slow. It was a little sloppy with some penalties and some different things, specifically that the field goal drive for UConn, where it was their main offense was penalties by Tennessee.
Yes, but it was great to see our defense both are neck down tight.
Yes, it ended. It was disappointing until it wasn't anymore when you made a nice little goal line stand there.
Because it could have been 7-7.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean, silver linings even from what was probably the worst piece of the game there. And so, yeah, I mean, there's just not that much to hit on. I do think we got to talk about this, and I'm interested to know what you think about it, Crump. 3 injuries on extra points after quick scores. One of them was a score by the defense itself. But 3 injuries after extra points. Obviously, a lot of people saying that these are fake injuries. I think there's a pretty good case to say that they very well might be. If they are, what do you think of that strategy?
Hard to say one way or the other. The times that people really complain, or when the defensive players are up after the play, looks at the sideline, and then falls down. You know what I mean? That's when you go, I mean, really, guys, like, really, you can, I mean, any athlete has been there in the sense of at a certain point, you're just gassed. That's going for even teams with play. Sometimes that just happens and you're just gassed. But when I really start complaining is when after a run or after pass, 4 or 5 plays into a drive, whatever, blah, blah, blah. D lineman gets up, looks at the sideline, and then goes, "Ooh, cramp, I'm out."
Like Kentucky last week. Yeah.
Yeah, like that. Exactly. That's when it's bogus, right? So if they're just down right after the play and they just don't get up because they're gassed. That stuff is hard to tell. I'll be honest with you. I didn't see any of them really get up after extra points, blah, blah, blah. Because there's an extra point. I'm not going to lie to you. I quit watching at that point. I was like, oh, we scored another touchdown. Let's go with it. So
Yeah.
I know 3 were down, but I didn't see how they went down is what I'm getting at.
I didn't either. And if let's say it is a strategy by Heupel to waste time so the defense doesn't have to go back out there so quickly, which, that would be the strategy, I think. I don't care. I mean, it just is. Yeah, you can say, we have some comments here. Timothy and Papa J both had some super chats about it. We appreciate it. Like Papa J says, we can never complain about opposing players flopping. Every score we have someone flopping to rest our D. I just go, everybody has tried to use that against us, so let's just use it too. It's kind of just a tit for tat if Tennessee's doing it. And frankly, I just, Heupel's offense already kind of pushes the rules. It's already right there on the edges. And like we've always talked about, like, well, if they change the rules from this and that, then Heupel's offense might take a hit. That's absolutely true. He just plays just right within those bounds.
Yes, but I mean, and
I don't care personally.
Well, what I'm getting at is I don't really know if it was or wasn't. But if it was, then Papa J's right. We can't complain. If we did it, then we can't complain to somebody doing it to us. So, I mean, he's right. I'm just saying, I don't know if it was or wasn't. I'm just playing devil's advocate of the times I complain personally, or when defenders get up, look at the sideline, they call it. Every team has it. You call it getting sniped. And the signal will be looking like a sniper. Hey, Charlie, you're the sniper today. Like every team knows going into the game who is the 1, 2, or 3 players that will quote unquote get sniped. Meaning, if I point at you and I give you a signal, you just drop. You're down on the spot. So every team has 1 or 2, if not 3, players on offense, defense, and every special teams, depending on who's in the game, that when they give the signal, you're going down.
Yeah,
that's when I have a problem with it personally. But he's right though. If we're complaining and then we did it, complaining's got to stop.
For sure. As far as that goes, I mean, Darren says right here, this is certainly not the first time that Heupel has done this. If what we're talking about is being done again, it's pretty much unfalsifiable. Maybe I need to do a little film study here tomorrow. I'll rewatch the game, see if I can pinpoint how these guys might have been injured, and see if we can find out if they were, as you called them, snipers. I love that. But
no, that's what they're called. That's what you call them.
No, I just personally have never heard that. I've seen the memes where people show like the guys getting shot and then they fall down. Like I've seen that, but that's So there's that. I mean, I did want to touch on it because everybody on Twitter was talking about it. But let's get to this. We got to pay the bills around here. So our first segment is the better help. Who can better help Tennessee in this second half to win the game? Now, Tennessee, of course, is up 35-3. I'm not sure that they're going to need, a huge amount of help in this second half to hang on, but we'll talk about it right after I tell you, of course, about BetterHelp. If you're a Tennessee fan like me and Crump, you know how many years the Big Orange have shaved off your life with the emotional roller coaster of college sports, or maybe the roller coaster of life is messing with your happiness, preventing you from achieving your goals. Regardless, if you have a clinical mental health issue like depression or anxiety, or if you're just a human going through a hard time, therapy can give you tools to approach your life in a very different way, and that's where BetterHelp comes into play. BetterHelp's mission is to make therapy more affordable, more accessible, and this is an important mission because finding a therapist can be hard, especially when you're limited to just the options in your area. BetterHelp's platform makes finding a therapist easier because it's online and remote. BetterHelp can match you with a professional therapist in as little as a few days. Plus, with our link, betterhelp.com/ATOZ sports, you get 10% off your first month. See a therapist because maintaining your mental health is just as important as maintaining your physical health. So this football season, check out betterhelp.com/ATOZ sports and save 10% on your first month with BetterHelp. I'll throw it to you, Crump. Who can better help Tennessee in the second half?
That's a good one. because I'm going to say it's not like we need a lot of help at the moment.
Yeah, it's a little different this week. Yeah,
it is a little different. But I'm going to go with my guy Samson. I think we get him a lot of touches, get him involved. I know he was early, but get him involved and let him get. This is a game that obviously they have confidence in him, but this is a game that he can gain even more confidence in this second half.
I love it. Samson is so fun, man. That little move that he had, was it the second drive of the game where he got the ball, ran into some guys, literally did a 360, turned around, ran back the other direction.
Yeah, he's like a little pinball.
Yes, he is so elusive. It's great.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people have been comparing him to Alvin Kamara. I mean, I think that's perfect. Like, he's just so slippery. I love it. I mean, I'll say what I think a lot of Tennessee fans would say in this scenario. I mean, Nico, let's see the man play football. Now, with that being said, Joe, and I think some folks have been saying it in the comments here. I think it was Ben right here. He says people don't want to hear it, but Joe has gotten a lot better. I don't think people don't want to hear it. I think people can admit that Joe's gotten a lot better.
They don't.
Do they not? Because
No.
this was an interesting part of last week. I was at a wedding during that game. I didn't get to watch it live. I rewatched it the next day, and I rewatched it on Sunday. And I watched it, and I was just like, I saw all of these tweets from live during the game, and people were like, we got to put Nico in the game. Oh, my, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, Joe played really well in that game. I don't know. Like, I don't know why that hangs people up so much, but I mean, you're 6-2, about to be 7-2 if this thing, closes out the way we think it will. And like, he's playing well. I know
that.
White was great.
I've never said Nico's not going to be good, but we're complaining to complain when we're about to be 7-2. Not today. I'm not talking about today, obviously. But you know what I'm saying? Like, since Vanderbilt, what are we now? Like after today, 10-2. Obviously, we're playing UConn. We get it. UConn's going to be 1-8. UConn is horrible, but still got to go play, right? We still got to play. He's playing a lot better today than did Austin Peay. But all I'm getting at is, don't get your hopes up unless they put Nico in at the start of the second half. Do not get your hopes up to see a lot from him. Just telling you right now. Get your hopes up to see a lot of handoffs.
I am interested, though, because last season, Heupel did. When he put Joe in the game, he let Joe air it out.
And Joe was also in his fourth year of college.
That's true. I'm
just saying.
Yeah.
When we are, and it was also against like he did against the SEC opponent at Missouri and stuff like that. You're playing UConn. If history repeats itself, and it does a lot of times, do not expect a lot of razzle dazzle when Nico comes in. There's a really good chance that Nico comes in and then 4 or 5 drives later, somebody else
maybe
is in.
Schuler.
Then it's somebody else. No, I'm not saying they're not going to let him throw. I'm just saying don't expect him to throw the ball 8-10 times. It's just I don't think it happens.
I mean, my co-host of the Big Orange podcast, Zach Reagan, he drops into the comments here. What's up, Zach? He says 6 incompletions in the last 6 quarters for Joe Milton. I mean, there you go.
That's impressive.
It's played really well against Kentucky. Really, really took that game for you. And so I can't complain there. But I do finally, I want to see Nico play because you were in.
Well, yeah, everybody wants to see because we want to see what we're going to have for the future.
Exactly.
Even though it's not guaranteed he's going to be the guy next year. You got to compete. Yeah, that's the thing. That's the one thing. If we're trying to build a championship program, nothing is guaranteed, right? And I know nobody wants to hear this. Look at Alabama. Nothing is guaranteed at the quarterback position. Look at when they had Jalen, Tua, Mac Jones, right? Just because they were all high recruits didn't mean they played right out of the gate. Hell, Jalen was a high recruit. Tua's a high recruit. He gets benched. So you still got to, what we're trying to build, we still got to compete. So it doesn't mean it's just his job next year. Is he the front runner? 100%. That doesn't mean it's his job.
Well, let's just see what he can do, because that UTSA
Yeah.
game, you were in perfect position, and then they kind of fell asleep a little bit, and now you have another opportunity to get this man in the football game, and to get him reps. Where, I mean, if Joe gets injured, he needs reps.
Well,
And so
here's the
I want to
question.
see
This is
that
a good
happen.
question from somebody. Does Nico lose a playable year if he plays? How many games has he played in this year?
I think only 2. If I'm thinking Virginia, and he did play at the end of UTSA. I think that's it, though.
Didn't he
So
play in Virginia?
yeah, that's what I said. I think Virginia and
Virginia.
UTSA. Yep,
He
I
didn't
think
play
just those
Austin
2.
Peay.
No, I don't
I'm
think.
just trying to think if he's played in a third one. I'm trying to think, and somebody obviously will know if he has played a third one. I'd be curious because that's a good question in the sense of if he plays his fourth, he can't play again. If we want to keep a red shirt.
Yeah. It's
Now,
well,
I don't think that's going to be a concern of ours. You know
no,
what I mean?
because
Unless
he's
there's
not.
an injury, unless there's an injury after today, I don't think that's a concern. But I mean, I want to see him get in, and I want to see him throw the ball. I just don't know how much throwing he's going to get, depending on how the first drive or so goes in the second half, or unless they just he will if they just throw him out there.
Yeah. Well, let's hopefully we just keep running the score up. We see plenty of them, and I'm just interested to see what we get there from Heupel, like you said, from Heupel and him both. What Heupel does with him, it'll be interesting. But we got to finish with our last segment here for halftime, and that is can Tennessee cover the spread? They're 3 points away at the moment. It feels pretty likely. But we'll talk about it right after I tell you about Zen Sports. It's football season, and it's time to switch to Zen Sports, the fastest-growing sports book in Tennessee, changing the bonus game with their cash rewards program. When you sign up for Zen Sports with code A-to-Z-T-N, earn a welcome bonus that gives you 5% cash back on your total betting volume for your first 15 days of betting. And if you have friends who bet on sports, share your Zen Sports referral bonus code with them, and you'll earn 3% on their betting volume for their first 6 months of betting on Zen Sports with no cap on how much you can earn. So what are you waiting for? Stop wasting time and money on other sports books when you could be earning real cash rewards with Zen Sports. Download today on the App Store or at zensports.com in your wallet. We'll thank you later. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-889-9789. Terms and conditions apply. Must be 21 or older to bet in Tennessee. Zen Sports. Go download it. I couldn't find a live line because I mean this one is just a snoozer. I'm sure it's out there.
Skewed. Yeah.
But the line before the game was, I believe, 35 and a half, something like that. Just a monster line, and Tennessee obviously meeting that expectation to this point. Does Tennessee cover, Crum?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think Connecticut is I don't think they're very good on any side of the ball at the moment. If we just take care of our business, I think we do. I think we do easily. I
do think there's a chance. There's a chance that I think UConn could score against the young guys for Tennessee. Maybe a couple touchdowns in this next half. They were moving the ball somewhat in that half. I could see that. Maybe another couple field goals, something like that. But Tennessee, just on offense, they were pushing these boys around when it got into sort of the latter half of that first half. Yeah, so I think Tennessee will end up covering. I said, I think before the game 52-10 was my final score.
I think it's pretty close. Pretty close.
So we shall see, but I would bet we're at 19 minutes now, so I bet halftime is probably coming to a close. Charlie Burris, Jonathan Crompton, thanks so much to everybody for watching. We'll be back post-game, and of course we will be talking about that Missouri game, and at that point, maybe the Missouri game at Georgia will have started, and we'll talk maybe a little bit about that. So
we need Mizzou to win.
Please, Mizzou. That would be
Mizzou wins, we went out.
That's the SEC East. So,
well, it depends on Florida because they got the tiebreaker. Because of the head-to-head.
Yeah, that is true. Dang it. Crap. Florida. No,
and I don't know the rest of their schedule.
Florida lost to Georgia, and you would have beaten
head-to-head.
I don't know. Well, anyway.
There's a few things that got to happen. A few things
That's
got to
true.
happen, but they're not undoable depending on today.
We shall see. Trailer Burst, Jonathan Crompton. Let's go watch the second half, and we'll be right back.